Just to be more specific about the University and College Union, there's 145 teaching institutions that have refused to mark work because of a dispute with their employer, a dispute with their employers over pensions and pay. That dispute seems to me to be perfectly reasonable. Lecturers and teachers are paid far too little, and I certainly wouldn't teach in a British university at the moment for the amount of money which I have been and would be offered. It's absurd, utterly absurd. And instead of getting their degrees, some students across the UK have received apology letters. That's not a degree. They paid and they did the work, and they've got that. Each university is handling it differently. So in the University of Bristol, they're allowed to defer their graduation until the autumn. Well, of course, in most universities, you can defer your graduation until you want to. I remember deferring my graduation for about 6 years when I was an undergraduate. At Cambridge, students will not receive their degree at all until all their work is marked. What pillocks? That's the university, not the students. At the University of Edinburgh, they can graduate without qualifying for their final qualification. That's nonsensical. So they have a ceremony which means nothing. Perfectly reasonable, I suppose. But the problem lies with international students, and they face two things. Number one, they're particularly constrained by job opportunities, often which require a confirmation of a 2-1 or a first to get that job. And secondly, they face visa restrictions and visa penalties. So not only will their visa expire, but because they have overstayed their visa, they will then that will then be a record on the system that their visa went wrong, and that will be held against them in the future. This is because the Home Office is incapable of taking a proper record. It simply has a tick box mentality, and its Home Office officials seem to be blinkered to reality. So the Home Office can help, and the universities can help, and neither have done so. I was dealing with a university earlier this year, not about a month ago, which had sent a message saying that it was going to honour a joint degree with another country, with Russia, and that university would simply the university in the UK would simply take on the students who had been signed up to the joint degree in Russia, if they wanted to continue it in the UK. When a student presented himself to continue it in the UK, the university didn't know what to do. There wasn't anybody who knew anything about this letter. The person who'd written the letter wasn't available, and the whole system was chaotic. In the end, on one particular morning, I think it was a Thursday morning, the student himself went to the university. He was told very firmly that he was rejected, and when he got back home, he was offered a university place. Madness and chaos, and it gives a really poor impression of our understanding of honour and of our understanding of the meaning of documentation. If you say one thing and you do something else, in my world, you're a liar. If you offer something and then you don't follow through, you're a liar or a thief. And that's the position of universities at the moment. And that's the position of the UK that is offering education to people at the moment. I don't understand how the UK can confidently say that a British university degree is a good investment at the moment if it cannot make good on the agreement between the university and the student. And it's got nothing to do with respecting strike action. It's got to do with finding a way round the issue. The strike is supposed to put pressure on the university, not to make it impossible for students to get a job or to stay in the country. There are situations where students are unable to take up their job offer, where their visa will expire, where they can't actually commit to a higher degree because they don't have the qualification for the lower degree they've just studied and finished within the same university. This is madness, utter madness, and I cannot express anything other than contempt for the universities and the Home Office. For Suella Braverman, I suppose that's a routine thing. For the universities, I hope that's a new experience. I don't suppose my lone voice is going to have that much effect. But I think university students who are caught in this mess should be writing letters to their respective MPs, and they should be taking legal advice. And I trust universities will shortly be inundated with legal cases. And I'm sure that will be an expensive experience. This could be sorted out very quickly.